Starting today off with something a little bit different. This is one of our very first Run Ready engine combos that's going over to Croyer Racing Engines across the street here. We are going to put it on one of their Superflow dynos, and we're going to give you the actual real truth of what our engine packages put out. This started out life as a crate LS3, and as you can see by the little red plugs in there and the very clean exhaust ports, this is brand new, hasn't fired yet. This has our proprietary camshaft that is geared towards the Pro Touring as well as your resto mod crowd. The plan here with this is to give the end user something that makes excellent torque, excellent power, still carries a 2-year, 24,000 mile warranty, as well as great drive characteristics that we're going to be able to support with you all the way through in your build. This particular engine, the biggest outside changes that you're going to see is just the LSA valve covers. This is going in a special project that we'll be revealing more information on later. However, this is going across the street today, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is and see what we can do with our camshaft, Brian Tooley Racing valve springs, push rods, and a GM crate long block that we started off with courtesy of AutoNation in Arizona. And we're dealing with our guy over there, Brad, who we've had a great working relationship over 10 years now. So we have the utmost in confidence in what we can deliver with this as a jumping off platform for some of our package engines. Stay tuned for more. So here's some little bit as we're working through it, getting this engine strapped down to the dyno. This is what you're going to see happening here on a regular basis. We're over at Croyer Racing it. LS3 with our cam, Superflow engine dyno. There's our water brake back there. Now it's about getting it on the pump so we can see what's going on. Got a little bit of work to do here. Gonna go ahead and put accessory drive on there, get at least an alternator on it. In the future, you're gonna see us running these with full drive kits. This particular one, just for speed and ease of test, we're gonna just run it with an alternator. And the next one that we have lined up for you will also have a full drive kit on it, just to give you a real world of what's actually going on here. So continuing on our Run Ready engine progress, we're over here on the engine dyno, and this is using a pressurized system to prime the oiling system in the engine. Got this hooked up over here, and I'm feeding it under pressure with oil. And the whole principle behind that is, and turning this over, is making sure that everything gets adequately lubricated before fire up. Now, GM assembled this engine some time ago, and it's been sitting since they assembled it. I believe there's a date on the back of the block. Shows that they put this together March 28th, 2025. So by putting the oil in there under pressure, turning it over by hand, we're making sure everything gets adequately lubricated. All right, I'm gonna take a quick second and actually go over some of the oiling system on this, on the dyno, so we can show what you're actually achieving by doing this on an engine dyno. So I briefly touched on the pre-lubing, which is going on right here. On an LS, we are feeding right back through here, back to the galley. If you don't know, oil pump up front, main galley, shoots down the back, up and fills up your crankshaft, fills up your cam bearings, heads up to the valve train, all that good stuff. What we have on the dyno is, this is for filtration. So we have this block installed on, this is a traditional wet sump pan. So being it's an LS3 wet sump, we have our oil leaving the engine, going out, coming back through here, and then we've got a filter screen set up here. Oil leaves the filter screen, goes down to a cartridge filter down here, and we've got a heat exchanger down here plumbed in that's going to be flowing water through it to keep it roughly the same temperature as our coolant, which will also be flowing through this guy over here as a heat exchanger. All this stuff coming together allows us to cool the engine, cool the oil, keep everything at optimum temperatures while we're running it. And we get back through here, this little bell house adapter that hooks up to the absorber, which is your actual dyno. So all of these things coming together allows us to run this engine in place and give you actual numbers, as well as helps us to diagnose and make sure that the engine is running properly. You're actually seeing the finished product rather than just sticking it together and hoping for the best. But that's a little bit of behind the scenes of what actually goes on here to get an engine on the dyno.